Sorry, I just started. Go ahead.
She was my grandmother, my father's mother. She lived with us after 1940. And a gentle, kindly soul that I loved very much. She was very good to me. My mother and she, well, they sort of got along. Not great, but they got along, and she lived with us for the rest of her life. I think she died 1940.
No, you said she came to live with you in 1940.
That's true.
How old were you when she died?
How old was I when Oma died? About 13 or 14.
Okay, so that would be about 1947 or 48
Yes.
that she died. And
Is
what?
this Caroline still?
This is Bertha. This is Oma Bertha, and she played the piano.
Yes.
What did she play?
Beethoven sonatas and like that. I never heard her much. Besides, I'm afraid in those days that stuff was considered, and I kind of shied away from it. Wasn't until much later that I learned, gee, maybe the old people had something there. There's something good there, but that didn't come till later. We had a friend named Ralph Meyerhart. You've heard of him.
Yes, I've heard of his wife, Mrs. Meyerhart.
That was his mother. I'm not sure he ever married.
Oh.
Mrs. Meyerhart, Elsa Meyerhart, was Ralph's mother. He had another brother named Heinz, who never amounted to much from what I can tell. And Ralph was a nice, unassuming guy. I'd go over to the house and talk with him once in a while, hear him play the piano. He quit his job in a chemical plant to teach piano full time.
Oh.
Everybody thought that was not a wise decision. Whether it was or not, I don't know, but that's neither here nor there.
Did Oma Bertha teach piano?
She may have in the old country. She never taught me any. I thought pianos were for sissies. In those days, kids like me, anyway, if they were friends of Barry Fireman, were taught a lot of things.
Sorry,
What is that?
that was the intercom.
Oh.
Kids like you, Barry Feuerman.
Yeah. He was very cynical and
Very.
tried to make me that way too. He succeeded up to a point, but not completely.
So back to Oma Bertha,
Yes.
she taught you about classical music, didn't she?
Not really, no. She listened to a lot of it. I confess, I made a point of avoiding a lot of it, again, because it was considered sissy stuff at the time. And the stuff she played I didn't like much. But after a while, as I've told you before, when I got to learn that classical music wasn't all bad, she and I got together and had quite a bond in the last years of her life and used to listen to music together. I've told you that story.
Well, tell it again because the people in Germany don't know it.
Should I say it in German?
Well, I think say it in English if that's
Good.
okay.
That's fine with me. Well, I got to know it after a while, largely through radio programs and movies where I heard it, particularly one.
You okay? Are you okay?
I belched, excuse
okay.
me. I didn't excuse me.
You're okay.
You got to know it through radio programs, classical
The
music.
Lone Ranger, and our next door neighbor, Dr. Bloomberg. He was into it, and he had a 78 RPM record player. He invited me over once or twice to listen with him, and to my surprise, the piece he played was from the Lone Ranger, a piece by Liszt called Les Prelude, which is a great favorite of mine. You'd like it too if you could sit down and hear it sometime. That was one of the pieces. I played it for my grandmother a few times. She got to like it after a while. It's not one of Liszt's most famous pieces. Liszt was most famous for piano, but this was what they called a tone poem. And it's very, very good. It has moods. That's all anything about Oma Bertha?